A pleasant evening to everyone. Hello to our Facebook and YouTube viewers. Welcome to StackLeague ROBOGALS Tech Session, getting started with Frappe and ERPNext. I'm Alex and I'll be your host for tonight's event. I would like to remind everyone that if you have any question about the session, you can type them in the comment section and we'll address them later at the Q&A session. Also, to help the StackLeague team improve the sessions for you, answer this question form after the live session. Here's the link, bit.ly/StackLeague sessions feedback, or you can scan the QR code flash on your screen. Before we dive into tonight's session, we would like to give you an overview of StackLeague. Now, in a second competitive year, StackLeague wouldn't be possible without the support of our partners. We're fortunate to be supported by the top companies in the industry. We have our platinum sponsor, Packetworks, our silver sponsor, Coding Chips, and bronze sponsor, Microsoft, Dell Tech System, Upper.ph, Recruit Day, Gcash, and Likha IT. Our media partners, SparkUp, App Gadgets, What's Up Pilipinas, Corner Magazine PH, Android Geeks, Megabytes, Bakad News, Blue Wing, and Manila Republic. The same goes for our community partners who have the league reach as many programmers in the country as possible. Here they are. Also, congratulations to Mark Genesee Mamor for being the StackLeague ambassador for July, winning the 3,000 pesos cash prize and a StackLeague t-shirt. If you want to be the next StackLeague ambassador and win the cash prize and the t-shirt, the program is now open for August. You can find the full mechanics at our website, bit.ly/StackLeague Ambassador 2022. And now to know more about StackLeague overview, here's Haifa Karina from StackLeague. Take it away, Haifa.
Hello everyone, my name is Haifa and I will be giving you an overview of what StackLeague is all about. StackLeague is the Philippines' largest online programming league. The mission is to develop programming leaders that inspire a nation into coding. The tournament is powered by StackTrick's fully automated talent, analytics, and assessment platforms. Now, what are the highlights of the league? The Pioneering Programming League was launched last March 16, 2021, and is now gathering over 15,000 tech talents across the country to test their leadership, perseverance, and coding skills with a promise of nationwide media recognition, lots of prizes, thousands of tech job opportunities, and access to invitation-only events. The league's year-round cash prize pool is now at 10 million pesos in the duration of the whole competition. That is for 2022. And one of the highlights in the Stack League is the weekly Stack Race, which is both for individual and teams. Each week, the top 10 challengers and the top 3 teams are announced all across Stack League social media platform to recognize the challengers who stayed on top of their rankings. Apart from this, we also have the Stack League featured programmer and team campaign. The weekly top 10 challengers and top 3 teams are going to be featured on Stack League's website and on our social media channels. Now, Stack League will also be hosting numerous tech and career sessions all throughout the year. Aside from this, there are also exclusive trainings available for ranking to the next challenger levels. And these events and trainings are all for free. So if you are interested in different industry trends, technologies, best practices, as a challenger in Stack League, you will have access to all of these learning sessions. Now, what's next? We also have the Stack League Ambassador Program, and it is a year-round initiative to reward Stack League challengers who go beyond the competition and inspire the nation into coding. To tell you more about the Stack League Ambassador, here is a short clip for you to watch. All right, and that's for the Stack League Ambassador, wherein you will get, if you become the Ambassador of the Month, you will be receiving 3,000 pesos. And if you become the Ambassador of the Year, you will be receiving 20,000 pesos. And there are multiple ways for you to become a Stack League Ambassador. One is to really refer as many developers or interested developers to take on the challenges at Stack League. That's one. And then the other one is to post blogs or features using your own websites or other blogging platforms. That way you also get ambassador points. And now for the supported programming languages in the league, we have JavaScript, Java, Python, C Sharp, and PHP. Now how the ranking system goes. So after signing up, you will start at the bottom with 0 points. All you need to do is solve as many challenges as you can and earn the corresponding points. So the more points you earn, the higher your ranking goes. Once you have accumulated enough points, you can now get to the next level. You got to the next level where most opportunities are unlocked for you. So there are 3 challenger levels. We have bronze, silver, and gold levels. Now, the new thing that this year, 2022, is that the challenger level up now has prizes. So if you will able to unlock bronze level, you will be receiving, oh, here you go. You will be receiving 100 pesos. So that's 100 pesos as soon as you level up to bronze. Then as you level up to silver, you will be receiving another 100 pesos. And when you reach gold, you will be receiving and rewarded with 300 pesos. So overall, you will be receiving a total of 500 pesos as you level up from unranked, bronze, silver, and then gold. Okay? So now if you become part of the be one of the 10 challengers to win this week. So on a weekly basis, we have rewards for the top 10. So there is also the Stack League Treasure Chest. That is what we call the initiative, wherein the weekly top 10 challengers will receive 500 pesos cash prize. What else? So there are a lot of things happening in Stack League, but this is also one of the highlights of Stack League for the year. We have what we call the Stack League Playoffs. So what is a playoffs? It is a single elimination tournament featuring all monthly qualifiers where all weekly top 10 Stack League challengers will automatically be invited to the monthly qualifier rounds, and you can read the mechanics at Stack League Playoffs 2022 to know 2022. And to know more, here is another clip for you to watch. Okay. All right. So as you can see here, we have the monthly qualifiers happening every month. And that happens, the playoffs monthly qualifiers happens every fourth Saturday of the month. So that's every from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So every month we are giving away for the top one. The top one winner will be receiving 5,000 pesos, and the top two will be receiving 3,000 pesos. Now, if you are interested in the schedule for the upcoming months, these are the schedules that we have. You can see them on your screen. Now, all of these players at the end of the year, by December, there will be a single elimination, as you can see the chart here, and the best players in the league will be crowned here through the playoffs. Now, for our new players here, if you cannot make it in the top 10 and you are still trying out, then that's the Stack League Lightning Series is the event especially made for you. So every level you have your own rank. So we have unranked, bronze, and silver challengers, and we do this one on a monthly basis as well. So for the unranked category, if you are still new here, we have an opportunity for you. It happens every second Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m. So that's where all unranked categories could experience a 1 hour programming competition and also get prizes. On the third Tuesday, we have the bronze category. So many of the unranked challengers get to level up, and then they can now join the bronze level category. So the prizes here would be the top two will be receiving 1,200 pesos plus a limited edition Stack League shirt. Now, for the fourth Tuesday of the month is when we do the silver category. So as you try to level up, there are more chances for you and there are bigger prizes waiting for you. So for the silver category, the prizes here would be 1,500 pesos plus Stack League shirt plus Microsoft jackets. And with that one, I give you the overview of Stack League. Now, let's go back and welcome back our host.
Thank you, Haifa, for giving a short introduction of StackLeague. Let's not delay no further. Our resource speaker is a former IT staff at Foodbots Project, a former faculty member at Xavier University Ateneo de Cagayan. She also has a 2 years experience as a freelance ERPNext programmer and a project specialist at Web and Mobile Law. And now, she is currently an IT head of Gaisano City Mall. Let's give a warm welcome to Herabelle Villanueva.
Hi everyone, good evening. So, to begin first, let me share my screen. Mm, okay, all right. So, good evening. I'm Hera from ROBOGALS, and I'm the current IT head of Gaisano. And today I'm going to give you a brief intro on how to get started with Frappe ERPNext. So, for today's discussion, we'll be covering the following: what is Frappe ERPNext? What is an ERP software and why do we need it? We're going to go through setting up, installation, data imports, as well as customization using the front end, and just an intro on custom apps. But first, I'd like to introduce to you the organization I come from, which is ROBOGALS Cagayan de Oro, or simply ROBOGALS CDO. So, ROBOGALS CDO is a non-profit organization that seeks to increase the number of females in STEM and engineering. And to do this, we provide free workshops all around Cagayan de Oro City as well as in Mindanao and the Philippines. And we do this for free. So we are part of RoboGals, an international organization with 30 plus chapters worldwide. And fun fact, the CDO chapter was actually the first Southeast Asian chapter in RoboGals. And if you would like to know more about us or you would like to partner us, you can shoot us an email at cdo.exec@robogals.org or cdo.president@robogals.org, or you can send us a message through Facebook at fb.com/robogals. So let's go to the exciting part. Sige. So I hope everyone's ready. Let's go to the first topic, which is what is Frappe ERP next. So Frappe ERP Next actually refers to two things: the Frappe framework and ERPNext, which is a Frappe app. So, what is the Frappe framework? It's a full stack web application framework built by Frappe, a company that uses Python and MariaDB on the server side and a tightly integrated client library for the client side. So, ERPNext is a low code, open source ERP software for a business that's built on the Frappe framework. So, you're probably wondering, bakit ERP? Ano ba yung ERP? So, to answer this question, I'd like to explore this scenario. May nag-approach sa'yo as a programmer and you were asked to make a software or a system for a shoe selling business. So, ano ba yung software system na gagawin mo? So, if you're a programmer in your final year and gagawa ka ng final year project, you're probably thinking of something like, baka gagawa ako ng ordering system. So, gagawa ko ng system where a customer can order shoes and he or she will be invoiced. Makikita niya yung total ng order niya. Or, since shoes are actually inventory, why not create a system for managing shoes received and sold? So if there are shoes received, it will add on to the inventory. And if there are shoes sold, it will be subtracted from the inventory. Or if mahilig ka gumawa ng website, you can create a website to showcase the shoe selling business. And there are probably more kinds of systems or software that you can create for a shoe selling business. And all of these systems are valid. But if we put ourselves in the shoes of the shoe business owner, we'd probably see something like this. Yung business ko, di lang yan limited sa website. Kailangan siya ng features for selling. We need features where our customer can pick items and create invoices based on those items, as well as handle customer payments. We'll probably need features for buying. Kasi bumibili kami ng sapatos from external suppliers. So we need features to buy shoes, manage these suppliers, as well as handle the payments for the shoes bought from these suppliers. And since, as mentioned, shoes are a form of inventory, then we need some kind of inventory management that will handle the receiving, the deducting or withdrawal of the shoes, as well as the monitoring of the shoes that are going out and going in of the company. And of course, since this is a business and businesses file BIR requirements and they need to know whether or not they're making a profit, then we'll need features for accounting and finance. So, kailangan kang gumawa ng financial statements, accounting entries, and etc. So, maliking tanong, gagawa ka ba ng isang system per business need? So, will there be like one separate system per business need identified? So, pwede. Yes, it's possible na gagawa ako ng one system per business need. But there are a lot of drawbacks to this. So, if marami kang system, marami ka ding system na i-maintain in the long run. Aside from that, there's also a question of data integrity. Do all the departments have the same data? Are all of these data uniform? Tama ba yung nakalagay sa data lists nila? And with all of these considerations, is it possible na instead of creating multiple systems per business need, is isang system na lang yung gagawin mo? So this is where your ERP system comes in. So ERP or Enterprise Resource Planning refers to a type of software that organizations use to manage day-to-day business activities such as accounting, procurement, project management, risk management, and compliance, as well as supply chain operations. And take note, this is done with one software only. So modules share your data and one set of master data. So there is uniformity and reduced data redundancy, as well as an increase in data accuracy and correctness. So bakit ERP? Number one, it reduces costs. So you don't need to maintain multiple systems. You don't need multiple people, system admins, programmers to like work on multiple systems since you only have one system. And of course, you have total visibility and data reliability because, as mentioned, all modules have access to a uniform set of master data, and this master data is uniform and is correct as long as you input the right set of data na kailangan ng business mo. It also improves reporting and planning. It boosts efficiency. It strengthens operational functions like customer service, inventory management, and other operational functions, as an ERP is designed to support these functions. And it also gives your company a competitive advantage as it allows managers to make data driven decisions. So, bakit ERP Next? So, ERP Next was developed by Frappe, and it's an open source system. So, it's customizable. You can modify it to fit the needs of your business. It's easy to set up. It has multiple features across different industries. It also has an active community. So, di ka mahahanging if you have like questions or queries with regards to setup, or if you just need help with regards to programming and customization. Sige. So, let's go to setting up, which is mostly on installation and data import. So, how do you set up ERPNext? So, there are three approaches. The first is containerized, where you use Docker. Second, we have the easy install script, wherein you install just the Python packages and then you download a script which will install the dependencies for you. And then lastly, we have a manual install where you manually install the prerequisites and dependencies. You install Bench, which is the command line interface handling Frappe apps and where you're going to install ERP Next. And for this talk, I'll be covering briefly the easy install method as well as the manual install method. So for easy install, you have this. So this script, it only works for GNU Linux based server distributions and has been designed and tested to work on Ubuntu 16.4 plus, CentOS OS 7 plus, and Debian based systems. So do take note that this script has been tested on version 12 but not version 13 and above. So if gusto nyong mag-install ng latest versions like version 13 and 14, please use the containerized install method or manual installs. So if you are logged in as root, you're going to execute the commands as is. But if not, like you have your own user na sudo, then you're gonna need to use sudo. So you're going to first install the Python libraries. You have Python 3 Minimal, Build Essentials, and Python 3 Setup Tools. You're going to get the install.py or the install script from the repository. And then you're going to simply use Python to execute the install script. And then you have to include the option whether it's for production or for development by adding dash dash production or dash dash develop. Okay. So for manual install, you need to install the following dependencies before you execute pip to install Frappe Batch. So for Python, we have Python 3.8 for version 13 and 3.10 for version 14. For Node.js version 14 is currently being used for V13 and Node.js 16 for V14. We need Redis 6 for caching, MariaDB 10.3.x or Postgres 9.5.x for the database. Need Yarn 1.12, pip 20 plus, WK HTML to PDF, cron, and nginx. So once you have all of this installed, you're simply going to run pip3 install frappbench to install frappbench on your server or on your desktop. And for more info on the installation, you can get the details from their website, which is frappeframework.com/docs/v14 user and installation. Okay? Sige. So once you have Frappe bench or bench installed, you're going to create a Frappe bench folder which will host all your sites and all your applications. So to do this, you're going to run bench init space the folder name. So for example, you're going to run bench space init space frap dash bench, and this will create a frap dash bench folder, which will now be used to host the sites and the apps that run on frap. Okay, so how do you create a site? So first you need to be in the frap bench folder, and then you're simply going to execute bench space new site space the name of the site. Okay, and then once you have a site, you'll want to install the apps that you are going to run on your site. So Frap, the app, is going to be installed automatically once you create a site. And then if you want to install an app, let's say for example a custom made app which is hosted in a repository, you're going to use the command bench space get dash app followed by the application name and the repository. So if we're going to get ERPNext, we're going to run bench space get app space ERPNext. And then it's not followed by repository because the repository is already defined within the Frap framework. And once you get the app, this is not installed to your site. So you have to manually install the app to your site by using bench dash dash site and then the site name followed by install dash app and then the name of the app you're going to install. So that's it for installing apps. So we've covered creating a Frap bench folder or using bench in it, creating a site, getting apps, and installing apps. So once you've set that up and you have Frap or ERPNext running and you want to like upload your data into ERPNext, you can do this simply by using the data import tool. So what is the data import tool? It's an easy way to bulk upload or edit data, especially master data into the system. So you can access this either through home, data import and settings, and then import data, or you can open a document you want to import like an item, and then you click on menu and then import. So data import has three main steps. So first you download the template, you fill up the template with data, and then you upload the template into the system. So for an example, we have the short video. So in this case, we are trying to import items into a test website. So we are going to attach the file. So I already have a file in my local PC. So I attached item.csv. It will show you the rows that have been encoded for data import. And then all you have to do is click the import button and then give it a few seconds and it should import your data into the item master. Okay. So if you check the item master, we'll have 7 test items uploaded. So that's how simple it is to upload data into Frap apps and into ERPNext. So this is probably the exciting part that everybody wants to know. How do you customize an existing app like ERPNext? And how do you create your own custom app? So let's go to front end customizations. So for the front end, we're going to cover custom field and customize form. So we're going to add fields and customize the layout of a document. We're going to create a custom script or a custom behavior via JS. We're going to run report builder wherein you can create a custom report for a doc type. And we're going to customize the print format or the printout for a doc type. So how are you going to do this? So let's do the following steps. So we're going to use the supplier doc type in ERPNext, and we're going to add a new field for supplier code. Next, we're going to hide some of the supplier fields from the user interface. We're going to create a custom script that will autofill the supplier code based on the supplier name. Next, we're going to generate a report. We're going to change the print format of a transaction, or let's say we're going to change the print format of the supplier. So let me switch screens. I'm going to share a different screen. Just let it load for a while. Okay, so here you can see a Frappe ERPNext setup. This is on V13. So this is your desk or your app. So you can see shortcuts and the modules at the left. We have certain reports and masters at the bottom. So as mentioned, we're gonna try to create a new field in the supplier master. So first, let's open supplier. So this is the supplier master. So for now, I have two test suppliers. We have supplier 1 and supplier 2. And so if you open this, it will show you fields for like your supplier name, a supplier group, supplier type, and etc. So what I want to do is I want to add a custom field called supplier code. I'm gonna put it right under supplier name. So how do you do that? It's actually very simple. So I'm going to open a new tab, and I hope it shows. Okay. So let's go to custom script. No, custom field. So here in custom field, you'll be able to see all of the customized fields that the user created or that you will create. So if you want to add a custom field for the supplier master, all you have to do is click the add custom field button, and then you have to like specify which document you're going to add it into. So in Frappe, we call the different like um the different master datas as documents or doc types. So for an item, you have an item document. For like a purchase order, you have a purchase order document. And for the supplier, you have a supplier document. So let's open supplier. And then the label will be supplier code. And we're going to insert it after the supplier name. So field type refers to what data type or what type of data the field is going to get. So we actually have a lot of data types which you can explore on your own. So for now, we're just going to use data. I'm not going to specify the length and the other options, but just so you know, you can actually set whether or not this field is unique, is it mandatory, is it read only, hidden, and etc. just by creating the custom field and by checking these options. So for now, this is all we need. Document, label, and field type. We click save, and if we switch tabs and refresh the supplier, we should see supplier code here at the bottom of supplier name. So that's it for custom field. So again, custom field is used to add a user defined field in any of the documents in Frappe or in ERPNext. So next, I don't really need the currency and price list. Or in my business, I don't have a credit limit for my supplier. Can I just hide this field from the UI? Well, actually, you can. So, how do you do that? To do that, you have to go to customize form. So, to make things fast, let's use the awesome search bar and search customize form. We open this one, and then we enter the form type that we're going to update. So in our case, we're going to update supplier. And I want to hide, again, the credit limit. So all you have to do is look for the field for credit limit. And in this doc type, it's a section break. So we're just going to click the edit button. And then in this case, I don't want to delete it. I just want to hide it. So you just have to scroll down, click hidden, and then click update. Okay. So a pop-up at the bottom right corner will tell you if the document has been updated. So if it has, you can go back to the supplier tab, click refresh, and the document should have been updated. So as you can see, the credit limit drop down or the credit limit section has been hidden. So that's how you can like hide and edit some of the existing fields in Frappe. So what if I want to like autofill the supplier code based on the value of the supplier name? Like I want to remove all of the vowels and spaces, and supplier code should be something like PST term 1, which is weird, but some people do that. So how do you do that in ERPNext? Do you have to hard code it using Python? So no, the answer is no. You can still do it on the front end or on the client side, and we do that using a custom script. Okay. So how do you add a custom script? You go to client script, add client script, specify the doc type, which is in our case supplier, and then apply to is either list or form. So we're going to add the behavior to the form. So we're gonna click form. And here at the bottom is where we're going to add our script. So I already have a script prepared. I'm just gonna copy paste it. And do take note, make sure to check the enabled checkbox, because even if you have a custom script but this is not enabled, this will not execute on your form. Okay, so we have supplier name. So this code will execute when supplier name is changed, and it will simply get the supplier name. It will remove spaces and vowels and replace it with like an empty string, and then it will simply set supplier code with the value for short name. So we're gonna save this, and again click enabled. And then to test this out, you need to refresh your page because it's a front end customization. So we're gonna refresh the page. So every time I change supplier name, the supplier code should also adjust based on whatever is inputted. Okay. So currently we've covered custom field, customized form, and client scripts or custom scripts. Let's now try to generate reports. So in some frameworks, you are most probably going to like code your own report. Like if you want to export an Excel file of whatever's inside your database, then you will most probably have to code that with regards to like your MySQL query up to the returning and the fetching of the data. But in Frappe frameworks, all you have to do is like access the document that you want to generate the report on. Like I want to generate a report about my items. So all I have to do is access item. And then in the menu, we're going to change list view to report. So just click that one. And you automatically have like a report of all of your items or all of your data. So you can also add filters. Like for example, I only want to see the items where the status is enabled. So you can add a filter here, like status disabled equals no. And if you apply this filter, it will only show those wherein the status is enabled. Or you can filter it out using other fields, like who created this item. I want to know who created this. Was it the administrator? Was it John Doe? Was it Jane Doe? So can do that one. You can also edit the columns that are shown in the report. So all you have to do is click the menu and click pick columns, and then you can automatically select what columns are visible in the report based on the fields in the doc type. So if I don't need the information like unit of measure, disabled, short name, like I only want to know the status and the item name and the item group, so I can just check those one, click submit, and your report will automatically adjust based on your wishes. And of course, you can export this one as an Excel or CSV file, and you can also print your report from the system alone. So you don't have to hard code this all over again. It's already provided by the framework. Okay. So let's go to one item. So an item has a lot of fields. Let's say your item name, does it maintain stock, the short name, the item group, and it also has a lot of fields at the bottom. If I print this out and use the standard or the built-in print format, it will probably give me all of the data that I don't need. So what if I want to change the printout of the stock type? So all you need to do is you customize a print format. So you create a new print format name, like for example, item test, click start, and then all you have to do is drag and drop all of this data in and out of the screen to add or remove the fields that are going to be displayed in your printout. So it looks pretty easy, right? I hope it's easy because it's really low code with regards to client customizations. Okay. So let's proceed to custom apps. Okay. So in ERPNext, no, in Frappe and in the Frappe framework, you can actually create your own custom app, which is an application that runs on the framework, but it is like separate from the rest of the features, but it can use the features that are built in on the Frappe framework and on the other apps that are installed in your site. So what can you do in a custom app? So you can add your own doc types. You can create your own custom reports using queries from multiple documents. You can even like create your own dashboards, create your own pages. You can create integrations from one software to another. So we don't really have the time to discuss custom apps in detail. So I'll just show you like some apps that are built for Frappe. So we have like WhatsApp integration. We have a POS that's designed for Frappe applications. We have POS Awesome. We have the ICICI Bank Payouts integration. We have, of course, ERPNext, email delivery service. We have Telegram. We also have a whole lot of other apps like a Lazada to ERPNext integration and etc. etc. So custom apps can be like a whole new world, and it can actually be like a it's a way to like contribute to the Frappe marketplace, and you can create any kind of integration or any kind of custom app that you want. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my talk. So thank you very much. If you want to contact me, you can contact me through my socials or send me an email at villanuevahera@gmail.com. So that's it for me. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Hera, for that very enlightening and informative presentation. Knowing that many of our participants and viewers are from various types of courses that involve technology and have expressed interest in the future trends of IT industry, this was very insightful. So, this is the most exciting part of our session tonight. We are now opening the floor for the Q&A session. Then we have our first question from Kenny James. How did you start learning this framework?
Okay, so how did I start learning Frappe? So I actually learned Frappe by customizing ERPNext. So with regards to like how I learned it, I started mostly with like the front end customizations and then eventually developing custom apps and like customizations for ERP Next using a custom app. So I learned like how to make doc types, how to change doc type behavior using Python and JavaScript. And it was mostly built on like customizing earplugs. So if you know how to customize like a Frappe app, you will most likely know how to create like an app for the Frappe framework. I hope that answered the question.
Okay, thank you for that answer, Ms. Sarah. And for our next question from Dave John Gonzalez, are Frappe and ERP Next the same as Flutter and Dart?
Okay, so from what I know, Flutter is like an open source software development kit, and it's Flutter can build applications for like multi-platforms. It can build apps for Android, iOS, and other like other platforms. Frappe is a framework which is mostly for web applications, and I guess the analogy is similar. Like Frappe is the framework, ERP is the app. I'm not really sure with Dart, but like Flutter is the framework, and Flutter has different apps that you can build on it. So it's somewhat similar, but their like target is different. Flutter is more on like apps that run on your different operating systems, whereas Frappe is more on web-based applications.
Thank you for that answer. And for another question from Kenny James, there are different frameworks exist. Why choose Frappe? Why choose
So
Frappe?
why Frappe? Okay. So I like Frappe personally because it's easy to install and it already comes with a lot of features that you don't have to develop anymore. Like reports come out of the box, the Excel downloads and Excel export come out of the box. Data import comes out of the box, so you don't have to like you don't have to think of how to migrate one database to a different database, since all you have to do is like create this Excel sheet and then upload it to your Frappe app, to your Frappe website. And aside from this, it's also open source. So as a programmer, it's also a way for me to like give back to the community. It's also something that allows for customization. So you you can like modify the app based on how you want to, and it's not limiting. So that's why I really like Frappe. It comes with the UI, so you don't really have to like code a user interface from scratch or to like learn how to design a user interface. So yeah, I prefer Frappe for now, but of course there are different frameworks which do different things. But for me, if you're going to create like a document based application, you can try Frappe.
Okay, thank you for that answer. And another question from Kenny James. Would you recommend this framework to a beginner in programming?
Definitely, yes. I would recommend it because it's easy to learn. I found it easy to learn. And as I mentioned, you don't really have to like focus on a lot of stuff. Like you don't have to learn how to build a UI. You don't have to learn how to like query a database if you just need like a simple report. But of course, for like more complex applications, then it will get difficult. But if you're a beginner and you'd like to try out a low code, um, a low code framework, then Frappe is definitely an option.
for that answer. And another question from Dave John Gonzalez. What are the challenges that you experience in using Frappe and ERPNext that you did not experience in other programming language?
What are the challenges? Actually, baliktad siya. Like, I experienced problems developing PHP apps. Like, you have to design the UI separately. You have to be, like, very particular about the model view controller relationship. You have to code a lot of features, like, because it does not come in the box. So I found Frappe easier than other languages, but what challenges are in Frappe and ERPNext? I guess one of the main challenges would be you need to know how to work with Python and JavaScript as well as jQuery if you really want to make like complex customizations and complex apps. But yeah, I guess it's a pretty chill programming language. No, it's a pretty chill framework, so it's very beginner friendly as far as I know.
Okay, thank you for the answer. And we have our next question from Nika Santos. Pwede po ba yung ERP next sa app development?
Okay, so ERP Next is an ERP app built on the Frappe framework. So I think you mean Frappe, pwede ba yung Frappe framework sa app development? So if you're trying to create like a web-based application na yung focus is more on like creating documents and the features are centered on that one, then yes, Frappe is a very good choice. If you want to like create very pretty websites, then that's like a different thing. Like Frappe is capable of doing that, but it's not really its specialty. But yeah, it can be used for app development. Pero yun nga, it's limited to web-based apps as of the moment. So that's its forte.
Okay. And another question from Kenny James. What is necessary ERP implementation to be successful?
Ah, okay. So, if you want to implement an ERP system sa isang organization, then you actually have a lot of considerations. So, I'd like to highlight first yung hardware and yung network talaga ng um, organization. Like you need to have the network, the infrastructure that will support the ERP. So if you're going to do cloud hosting, then of course you're gonna need like an internet connection to access your server and stuff. But if on-site siya, then it will be an additional headache. You'll need to like look into server specs, your networks, your routers, and etc. So first is hardware and infrastructure. Next would be definitely understanding the business process. You need to understand and know how to map how the business works to how the ERP is programmed. So, dapat alam mo kung paano i-translate yung business requirements into how it's going to work sa ERP. And then lastly would be people. Definitely, yung people is the most important, I think, because they will be the ones using the ERP system. So, dapat ima-manage mo yung expectations ng mga tao. You should also be able to like do change management in the organization. So, dapat they should be able to accept the change, which is the ERP, and they should be like part of the change that is the ERP deployment. So that's it.
Okay. And from Dave John Gonzalez, do you recommend as a ERP Next programmer that ERP Next should be taught in school, like in college related to IT courses?
Hmm. So with regards to college courses, so as I mentioned, as you mentioned, I was once a instructor. I taught programming and other IT computer science related courses. So whether they teach Frappe ERP Next is subjective. So they can teach a framework, they can teach a different programming language, they can teach like a different application. But if there's one thing I would like to be taught really in college as part of IT courses, it would be Git. It would be repository management and using Git to like manage your code, manage versions. That would be very important. So it's not required that you know how to like build an ERP from scratch or to build an application using Frappe, since programming practices are universal, though like languages aren't universal, but the practices are universal. But definitely schools should teach Git. They should teach Git.
Thank you for that answer. Mm. And another question from Dave John Gonzalez. Are there any programming language and frameworks similar to Frappe and ERPNext?
Well, there was this framework that I worked on before Frappe and ERPNext. I forgot the name, but mm, instead of like an ERP, they built a disaster risk reduction management software for it. Um, I'm not sure if I can recall, but there are other like frameworks that are similar to Frappe and ERPNext. Like, but it depends on the language that you're going to use. I think there's an equivalent for PHP, though I'm not too sure since I don't really like specialize in PHP programming. But there should be like other frameworks that are similar to Frappe and ERPNext. As for ERPs, there are different kinds. Like you can have a proprietary software, which is something licensed, something that you pay for. So you have like NetSuite, you can have like Oracle, you can have like a different paid ERP from a different service provider. And as for open source, I know of ERPNext and Odoo. So Odoo is also developed, it's also open source, but I'm not sure if it's in Python or a different language. But there are different ERPs that exist in the market and definitely different frameworks.
Okay, thank you for that answer. So, I have a question from myself naman to. Kasi
Sige,
medyo
go.
gustuhan ko po yung presentation niyo po kanina. And naisip ko po na pwede ko po siyang magamit next year na pagpasok ko po sa school. And with that po, gusto ko po malaman kung ano po yung tips, tricks, cheats, hacks na pwede niyo ibigay sa mga kagaya ko na naging interested po sa prop saka sa ERP next. Kasi sabi niyo po madali lang po pero di ko ako naniniwala doon. Madali kasi di ko po
Sige,
alam.
sige, yung number one, and I think the only tip I can leave is you should know, not really know, but you should access discuss.erpnext.com. Like, di lang siya forum, it's also a place where people ask about programming, setup. So, marami silang na-cover talaga na topics and I learned majority of like the programming from there. And then, marami na ding tutorials online from like in YouTube, and a lot of the developers of Frappe ERPNext have their own blogs. So you can just access that one. Pero yeah, I really learned like the core of what I know now because of discuss.erpnext.com. So nandun talaga yung like majority of the knowledge base when it comes to like problems sa setup, how to do this, how to do that. You can get it from discuss.erpnext. And if di mo mahanap yung sagot na gusto mo, you can ask the question, and like the community plus the Frappe team, like yung nag-develop talaga, they will come back to you and they will answer your questions.
Okay po. Thank you po dun. Malaking tulong. So since there are no more questions about this session, we will now be closing our Q&A session. Before we dive into our announcements, is there anything else you want to add, Hera?
Nope, I'm all good.
Okay. If you need more details, you can connect with Hera after this session. Can you share with us, Hera, how we can reach you after this session?
So they can reach me through Messenger. So I shared my social so ago. It's fb.com/littlehera. You can also search me on LinkedIn. You can send me an email at villanuevahera@gmail.com. But please make sure to introduce yourself before you shoot me an email or a message.
Thank you everyone for your questions, and thank you Hera for answering our participants' question, and of course for that very insightful presentation.
You're welcome, and it was nice being able to speak for StackLeague. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And here are the upcoming Stack League announcements. Stack League Tech Session Solidity on August 4, Thursday at 6 p.m. For Cebuanos out there, get ready to take on the Cebu Stack League Challenge. Join us on August 6, Saturday, 1 p.m. at the company Cebu Mandaue branch for free face-to-face event. Stack League WordPress Baguio User Group. New Normal Schools and WordPress on August 10, Wednesday at 6 p.m. StackLeague Abacada Studios Career Session, ideating the digital classroom using gamification on August 24, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Join Genesis Blocks, Breeder Daw Hackathon partnership with StackLeague with 200,000 pesos cash prize pool on August 19 to 21. Deadline of registration is August 12, 2022. There are plenty of opportunities for you to learn here in StackLeague. Go to fb.com/stackleague/events for the registration details and get the latest updates. To have the StackLeague team improve the sessions for you, answer the question form. bit.ly/StackLeague sessions feedback, or you can scan the QR code flash on your screen. The StackLeague Ambassador for August is now accepting entries. To earn your ambassador points, you can either refer to friends and family or submit your blog sharing your league experience, or you can do both. Visit bit.ly/StackLeague Ambassador 2022 for more information. Also, make sure to earn league points and unlock the challenger levels and receive the prizes. Don't forget to also check out the StackLeague Lightning Series. Again, the schedule for the Lightning Series is always on second Tuesday for a rank category, third Tuesday for the bronze category, fourth Tuesday for the silver category. For more details, visit bit.ly/Lightning Series Mechanics. So that's all for the announcement. On behalf of StackLeague team, I would like to say thank you to everyone for joining the StackLeague ROBOGALS Tech Session. Get started with Frappe ERPNext. If you don't have a StackLeague account yet, make sure to sign up now at stackleague.com, and of course, invite your friends and family who you think should be part of the league. See you guys at the next StackLeague event. This has been your host, Alex. Good night, everyone.